Magic the Gathering might be booming, but look who it is with their grubby hands trying to get a piece of the action if it isn't the makers of Magic the Gathering themselves. Hi, my name's Nick. I run a channel here talking about cardboard and making money, mostly Magic the Gathering. Please subscribe. All right, so Secret Lair is a thing, and it's happening again, and I want to talk about the past, the present, the future of Secret Lair, and why this drop feels like it's a disaster for us dirty scalpers. I have made quite a bit of money flipping Secret Lairs. I remember the Monty Python Secret Lair that went quite well as far as appreciation. I remember the SpongeBob Secret Lairs that were kind of okay-ish when it came to appreciation. I remember the very recent Fallout Secret Lairs that were not great when it came to appreciation. And I have made and lost money on all of these, all adventures to be sure. But there's an interesting kind of economic reality to Secret Lairs that I want to discuss, and then we can jump into what it means for what's happening on Monday, which is tomorrow if you're watching this video the day it came out. So let's take a look, a little blast from the past, little history here. This is the very first Secret Lair drop that ever happened back in 2019 or early 2020. Let's see, now it's 2019. Bitter Blossom Dreams. Let's talk about it. This was one of the main critiques of Secret Lair when it first came out, which was the reality, which was, hey, this is a $30 card, which at the time was a $30 card. I think it's cheaper now, or maybe it's the same, but hey, this is a $30 card selling for $30. What is going on? It feels like Wizards is just trying to get their grubby paws in on the Secret Lair or on the Magic card market. And yes, that is exactly what's going on, is taking something and just selling it at its reprint value. And let's look at these other options too. So you get basic lands, you get, this is pretty funny. Whatever YouTuber was was given these to open, their video is not even available anymore. This is probably one of the lowest value Secret Lairs of all time. Just these three cards: Restless and Peace, Seeing Visions, and the Explosion Sounds with goblins in it. All of these are kind of the other flavor of Secret Lairs, which is Secret Lairs that have way lower value inside of them than what they sell for, because $30 even back in 2019 was not a good deal for one Bloodghast, one Life from the Loam, and one Golgari Thug. Excuse me. So what's going on? These two flavors of Secret Lair, we still see it today, which is essentially I'm going to reprint exactly the card that takes up the value of this Secret Lair. And then there's the other kind, which is I'm going to reprint cards that do not add up to the value, but I'm going to hope and pray that you are interested and you buy it anyway. Right. This was a really valuable lesson that was actually taught to me by Kevin on Rogue Deck Builder. Great channel. I reference a lot of channels here, and they're great, and you should go check them out. But Rogue Deck Builder talked about how if they reprinted the original dual lands into a standard set today, if the next standard set coming out, which, what is it? It's Marvel Superheroes. Heaven help us. So if Marvel Superheroes comes out and prints the original dual lands, the Volcanic Islands and Scrublands, and into regular booster packs, those lands will become $10 to $20 cards. And how is that possible? How does that make sense? Well, it makes sense because it's a supply and demand thing. Yes, everybody wants those cards, but if you print them like you do print standard sets these days, your Secrets of Strixhaven with loads and loads and loads of play boxes that are mass produced and shared with the masses, and they get bought up and they get opened, but and so there's just no way that you can have a $100 card in a booster box that costs $130, right? You will lower the value of all the cards inside of that box to meet whatever the market is, assuming you print enough of them. So to be clear, if you sell a box of cards for $100, and you sell enough of them, there's no way that on average the cards inside are going to be worth more than $100. Now, sometimes there are expected value or inverted expected value products. Right now, I've referenced this 1,000 times, but people seem to like it. Me bringing it up is Modern Horizons 3 Play Booster Box. Right now, you can buy them for basically distribution cost at around that kind of $215 to $230 for a Play Booster Box. And on average, there's more value of that in the cards inside. There's like $240, let's say, of cards inside. And so you're coming ahead, not by a ton of money. Some people have said they've made a killing selling Modern Horizons 3, ripping it open, inverted expected value. But I haven't done it yet, so I can't speak to it. So where were we? Right. So there is some inverted expected value, but not very much. And still, the cards inside of a box of Modern Horizons 3 are pretty close to, on average, the value of the box that it sells. So if you put original dual lands inside of a $130 box and you're opening one in every 10 packs or whatever, then there's just no way that those lands could be more than 20, maybe $30. So what does this mean when we're talking about secret layers? Well, if you print enough secret layers, you're going to guarantee that the value of the cards inside do not go above whatever you're selling the secret layer for. Now, they do short print secret layers in general. Some of them, it doesn't feel like they short print them, but in general, they do. And so they still got to watch out for lowering the price of their singles, of their reprint equity. They can destroy their own product through secret layer, and they're well aware of this, and that's why they don't do that. They don't sell very expensive cards inside of secret layers, with some few exceptions, and most of the secret layers are actually very inexpensive cards that they're putting in special arts or treatments, and they're hoping that drives demand and sells the product. And let's be clear that it is not, their track record, in my opinion, isn't super great, especially recently. I mean, we have things like the Secret Ninja Turtle secret layers that have not sold out, been available for a while, and probably will never sell out. We have things like some of these, in the Dungeons and Dragons secret layer, they've got the art bundle that isn't selling out. It does say it's low in stock. We've got the Gale one, which was 5 cards that are not worth any money, that has not sold out and probably never will. We got the Fallout, like I mentioned before. Heaven bless us with this Fallout secret layers that basically, some of them have sold out, but many of them have not, even though they say they're low stock. Avatar ones, same thing. PlayStation, God of War, same thing. Past super drops like with Furby and etc. Still not selling out. And so, yes, many have sold out, but I'm making a point that Wizards is not putting in the reprint value, the equity, to guarantee that people want their product. I mean, even if you look at one of the most recent ones, the Deadpool secret layer, I mean, their 5 cards are worth like a couple bucks total. You got a Deadly Dispute, Lightning Bolt, Thrill Possibility, Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring. Yeah, these are all standard cards, and this is like one of the easiest kind of plays that Secret Lair likes to run back, which is just, let's take Soul Ring and other generic good commander cards and give them new art and then sell it as a Secret Lair to hopefully make a bunch of money and not damage any reprint value at all. It's interesting. So that's the play. That being considered, let's take a look at the newest secret lairs. Woo! So we got My Little Pony, which I'll just put myself conveniently under one side of the cards here. We got My Little Pony with Generous Gift, Reconnaissance Mission, Radiate, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. These are all sent cards. And then there's one here that I left out, Defense of the Heart. Defense of the Heart, a very conveniently priced $30 card. Well, not quite, I guess. It's like a 21 to 30. If you get the Anime Borderless copy, which I have this in one of my decks, $35. So yeah, $30, so this is a Secret Lair that's essentially Defense of the Heart as an expensive card, and then 5 other cards that aren't really worth very much. Is this worth $30? I don't think so. Not in my opinion. Is it worth $30 to someone who loves My Little Pony? Wizards of the Coast hopes so, right? That is the hope and the kind of desire here with this back to school super drop. It's funny though, My Little Pony's coming out with their own trading card game. And so it's interesting that they would kind of double dip a little bit by selling some Secret Lair IP rights. Anyways, so moving along. We got lands, My Little Pony lands. Very interesting. I'm not, I mean, I've read the TCG Player article about how lands are great long-term holds for Secret Lairs. I'm not so sure. I mean, this goes back to kind of my bone to pick with all the people that are like, oh, it's a great long-term hold. It's a great long-term hold. It's like, okay, yeah, great. Turns out everything appreciates given a long enough time horizon. That's not that interesting to me. What's interesting to me is what is a good flip essentially immediately. You could call it easy tendies, but it's not that easy when a lot of these Secret Lairs don't do anything. They don't even sell out. And so it's not easy tendies, but the question is, where are the tendies? Which ones of these Secret Lairs are going to be desirable enough such that they sell out quickly? And I don't think the lands are going to. That is my official. I don't think any of these are going to, actually. Well, okay, there's one that I think might, and I'll get there. But that's my spoiler for the video, is that I do not think these Secret Lairs are good. Moving along, Omens of Chaos. Here are 5 cards where none of them are worth any money. I'm almost certain, like, I guess I can look it up. The one that might be worth money is what? Like Chance for Glory? There's no way it's worth anything. Chance for Glory. Search. Yeah. $1 card. That's what I thought. So yeah, once again, a not that great group of cards selling for a great price of $30. I'm just, how are they going to keep getting away with this? Sorry for yawning. This is like, holy crap. Okay, now here's an interesting one. We get Secret Rendezvous, Runescarred Demon, Communal Brewing, Rogue's Passage, and then I left out one card. What is that one card? It is Terror of the Peaks. And what do you know? Terror of the Peaks really is like a $25, $30 card. So this is very similar to the My Little Pony Super Drop, where it's like, or not Super Drop, but Drop, where it's a bunch of relatively worthless cards and then one expensive card. Once again, selling for $30. So someone might tell you like, oh, if you want, Terror of the Peaks, this is a good Super Drop to pick up. No, it's not. Because odds are, if you want Terror of the Peaks, you're not looking for these 4 kind of bulk rares. If you're looking for Terror of the Peaks, you should just buy a Terror of the Peaks. Yeah, that's my official recommendation, is just buy a copy of Terror of the Peaks off a TCG Player. Getting this one, which I don't get, I don't think very many people do understand what's going on in this art. I don't. I'd be happy for you to explain to me in the comment section below what this is. I understand it. You can do it in like a calculator or something like that, but I had a calculator. I never did this. What is going on? So yeah, once again, the Secret Lair is just not that interesting. It's not featuring some kind of IP that people can relate to. It reminds me of the PlayStation Secret Lair, the Horizon Zero Dawn, that had a Blightsteel Colossus in it, which I got. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it's like you get Blightsteel Colossus and then a bunch of cards that aren't worth very much. What if you just want a Blightsteel Colossus and you just go buy one? And that's how this one feels, except the art just isn't cool. Like I thought the art was cool in the Horizon Zero Dawn one. I don't think it's going to sell out. Okay, now here's where we get something interesting, which is stylized in an interesting way, or a way that people might like. I don't think this is one of those, but it could be, which is the Eyes Have It drop, where there's Counterbalance, Gataxian Probe, Opt, Otherworldly Gaze, and Baleful Strix. This drop is kind of interesting to me, but it's not quite there. I don't know. Just the art, the cards, it's not that good. I don't think it's a buy. Moving along. Now here we get a little more interesting. What's funny is I think it saves my favorite for last. Yeah, classic. So now we get a little bit more interesting, which is with this, I'm going to mispronounce this name, but Maho Gakun Seshun Hakusho, Artist Spotlight, Secret Lair. This rule of law is actually incredible. I love that. This guy with a gavel, just anime style, just yelling as he puts it down. I might pick this up as a single, but the cards once again here are not expensive. These are all bulk rare type cards. It's just interesting because sometimes the merit on the artist makes it so that people will buy the Secret Lair, but that's not always true. I mean, we look at this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like featuring Stan Sakai foil edition, it's not selling out. There's all kinds of featuring Kevin Eastman colors not selling out. Actually, the non-foil ones did sell out, but the foil ones are not selling out, which is very interesting. That there's kind of this meta. Sometimes with Secret Lair, the foil ones are more expensive, and that's usually the ones where the art is more special and interesting. But then if it's just for players playing the game, the non-foil seem to sell out first, which is interesting. So anyways, I don't think this Secret Lair is going to sell out because the cards aren't worth anything, even though I like the art on one of the cards. Notebook Genius, similarly, not a lot to say. There's 4 cards here. The Lair, the Bloodghast, the Stormcomb Artist, the and Keko, the Painter, or whatever. Anyways, weird art style. Some people might be into it. That's great. Good for them. Some people are going to buy this. Like, the thing is with all these is some people are going to buy it. The question is, are enough people going to buy it so that it sells out and it has any kind of resale value on the secondary market? And my answer is no. I doubt it. I could be wrong. I always can be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. If I was not allowed to be wrong, I would not share my opinions on the internet. But I could be wrong. But my opinion is that these things so far that I've shared don't stand a chance of selling out and being worth anything. Now, here's my one potential exception, which is Return to the Mystical Archive. People have been freaking out in excitement about Mystical Archives. With the Secrets of Strixhaven coming out, people are opening up their collector booster boxes. They are getting stoked and jazzed. The actual release isn't till this upcoming Friday, but still people are getting a hold of product early at pre-releases and wherever, and they're loving it. They're excited about it. The art style of Mystical Archive is incredible. People love it. And here's a Secret Lair that, even though there's no value here, it features that art style, and it might be good enough. The art might be good enough that it sells these cards. Duty Beyond Death isn't worth anything, right? Duty Beyond Death. Oh my gosh, this card comes out in... Oh, but it's in English. Oh, so these are Japanese Secret Lair cards, but they're actually in English. That is pretty cool. I like that. Wow, this is crazy, though. It's cool that you can get... it's just wild that you can get the Japanese Silver Scroll foil Duty Beyond Death for less than, $12. Well, I guess there's currently no listings, so maybe that's not true, but... Anyways, so yeah, I think there could be merit to this. Now, Shared Roots is a Japanese Secret Lair card. It is. I used to be very against having Japanese cards inside of my decks, but this might be where I change. I might become a monster now because of these Japanese Mystical Archives are just so good. So anyways, this Secret Lair is kind of interesting. And so there's some potential there. So, Nick, what are you going to do when the Secret Lair comes out? Well, I'm not going to buy most of it, but I am going to keep an eye. If I I don't know if I'm going to do this, but I might. I might join the line and then check and refresh and see if anything's close to selling out. If most of these are close to selling out, I'm not going to care. They could 10x. I just don't have faith in them. I don't believe in them. I don't like the strategy from Wizards of the Coast. Sometimes they make secret lairs that have a demonic tutor in them, but this is not one of those. The value's just not there. And so I'm not passionate or positive about how these secret lairs are going to go, with the exception of that last one. If I refresh my page and it's low in stock, I'm going to see if I can pick some up for scalping purposes, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like I said earlier, you should subscribe. And yeah, we'll just see. We'll see if Wizards can get away with this once again. I don't think so, man. I don't think so.